Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unlocking something absolutely crucial for everyday communication, how we talk about the past. Whether you're telling a friend about your crazy weekend, reporting on a project at work, or just telling a great story, you've got to know how to travel back in time using your words. So today, we're going to master exactly how to do that.
We're going to use a scaffolding method today to build this up step by step. We'll be looking at 1. The simple past tense, 2. Regular versus irregular verbs, 3. Negatives and asking questions, 4. The past continuous tense, and finally, 5. Mastering time and action.
All right, let's jump right into section 1, the simple past tense.
To set the scene, think about something totally relatable, like sitting on the couch and watching TV. You do it, I do it. But how we describe this everyday action completely shifts depending on exactly when it's happening.
Right, so here is our baseline. If it's a routine, a habit they do all the time, we simply say they watch television every evening. But the second that action is done, finished, history, we have to shift that verb. It becomes they watched television yesterday evening. That tiny little addition to the end of the word literally changes the entire timeline of our sentence.
Moving right along to section 2, regular versus irregular verbs.
So, how exactly do we spell these past actions? Well, for the vast majority of verbs in English, the rule is wonderfully simple. We call these regular verbs. All you literally have to do is slap an ed onto the end of the base word. Work transforms into worked, clean becomes cleaned, start is started, and stay is stayed. This ed ending is your standard, trusty, go-to pattern for talking about finished actions.
But of course, it's English, so there's a twist. While a ton of verbs play nicely and follow that neat ed rule, some of our most common everyday verbs completely refuse to play along. We call these irregular verbs. So no, you don't say bide, you say bought. Go completely transforms into went, see becomes saw. Because these words pop up so frequently in daily conversation, memorizing their unique past tense forms is basically the best investment you can make in your fluency.
And here's why that matters. Look at how beautifully these irregular verbs flow together in action. Jim came into the room, took off his coat, and sat down. Notice how come became came, take became took, and sit became sat. This is a perfect mini-narrative that shows how native speakers naturally sequence multiple irregular verbs in a single fluid sentence to tell a quick, finished story.
Let's look at section 3, negatives and asking questions.
Okay, so we know how to make positive statements about the past, right? But what if you need to say something didn't happen? Or what if you want to ask someone else about their past? Enter our secret weapon, a tiny but mighty helper verb, did. Whenever you need to form a negative statement or ask a question in the past simple tense, did swoops in to do all the heavy lifting for you. And because did is already in the past tense, it frees up your main action word to just chill in its basic original form.
This is a super common trap, so look closely at this comparison. The positive statement is I watched, with that ed ending, but for the negative, it becomes I didn't watch. Notice what happened to the word watch? The ed vanished. We never, ever say, I didn't watched. You cannot have a double past tense. The didn't already tells us we're in the past, so the main verb just resets to its base form.
Which brings us to a foolproof, 3-step mathematical formula for building perfect past tense questions every single time. Step 1, start with did, or a question word followed by did. Step 2, add your subject, like your sister or the accident. Step 3, add your base verb, like phone or happen. So you get did your sister phone? Or how did the accident happen? It's completely plug and play.
Let's practice that right now. Did you do the shopping? See the structure there? Did plus the subject, you, plus the base verb, do.
And if someone asks you that, how do you naturally reply? You definitely don't need to repeat the whole long sentence back to them. Native English speakers love efficiency. The perfect short answers are simply, yes, I did, or no, I didn't. Just like the example from our source material where someone replies, no, I didn't have time. It's quick, natural, and grammar approved.
Okay, shifting gears into section 4, the past continuous tense.
Now we're moving away from finished facts and jumping right into actions that were actively happening. To truly wrap our heads around this, we need a visual anchor. Meet Sarah. Let's look at her day. Say it's 6 o'clock now, and Sarah is at home watching television. But let's rewind. At 4 o'clock, she wasn't at home. She was at the sports club. She was playing tennis. She wasn't watching television. Let's map this out on a timeline, because this really makes it click.
She began playing tennis at 3 o'clock. She stopped playing at 4:30. So what was happening exactly at 4 o'clock? Well, 4 o'clock sits directly in the middle of her tennis game. The action was unfinished, it was in progress, and that is exactly why we say she was playing.
Structurally, we build this past continuous tense by combining was or were with the ing form of our verb. You use was for I, he, she, and it. You use were for we, you, and they. This structure paints a picture. It specifically describes an action that was already in motion at a very specific moment in the past.
Because it describes ongoing actions, the past continuous is absolutely fantastic for setting the scene in a story. Check out these examples. It was raining, so we didn't go out. The rain is this ongoing background event, right? Or, in 1985, we were living in Canada. And for you true storytellers, I woke up early yesterday. It was a beautiful morning. The sun was shining and the birds were singing. You could practically feel the atmosphere being built by those ing verbs.
Finally, Section 5, Mastering Time and Action. Let's bring it all together and connect what you just learned back to what you probably already know. If an action is happening right now, you use the present continuous, I am working. To travel back in time, all you have to do is shift that helper verb. Am simply becomes was. The sentence transforms into I was working at 10:30 last night. It's a completely seamless transition from present reality to a past memory.
So, time for a quick pop quiz. I want you to think about this right now. What were you doing at 11:30 yesterday? Were you working? Were you eating lunch? Try to form that sentence in your head right now using I was plus an ing verb.
Because at the end of the day, mastering English grammar is really just about spotting and using these reliable visual patterns. You now have the full architectural blueprint. You use ed endings and irregular base forms to state finished facts, and you use was or were plus ing to paint vivid pictures of ongoing stories.
You've scaled the scaffolding, and you now have a complete set of tools to talk about the past with total clarity. So I'll leave you with this thought. Now that you have the tools, what story from yesterday are you going to tell the world today? Thanks so much for hanging out with me in this explainer. Keep practicing those patterns, and I'll catch you next time.